Sorry, guys. I'm gonna let you guys log on and I'm gonna get set up while we do. Okay. Alrighty. I was just gonna wait a little bit for people to log on and then I will start sharing. Aloha, welcome. Thank you for joining. Uh, Sorry, I'm just gonna check something really quick. I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, thank you for joining. I am gonna be talking about Kristopher Austin. That was the officer involved shooting where he died on January 8th, 2025, 6. This happened just a little bit ago. Let me pull up his picture. Sorry, I should have had this ready first. For those of you who hasn't seen a photograph of him, here we go. Aloha, welcome. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't have this already queued up. Here we go. This is the one. Okay. So we're going to be talking about him. Aloha, welcome. Thank you. Kristopher Austin. We're going to start from the very beginning. I have been tracking this story ever since it happened. And I have, as we go through these investigations, we just get revealed a puzzle piece and then the next puzzle piece and then the next puzzle piece to where I stand today, which is that I believe that Maui Police Department illegally killed Kristopher Austin. Ultimately, he wasn't committing a crime at the time of his death, and they have been very suspicious with the way that they've been handling it, especially having body cam footage that has been silenced. So we're going to start from the very beginning, and I'm going to share everything I've learned thus far. So buckle in. Hold on, I'm just adding his picture really quick to his album. Okay. Um, Let me just pull up the body cam. Oh no, wait, I have the body cam footage. Okay, perfect. So let's start on January 8th, 2026. At about 7:30 p.m., I'm driving home from work and heading towards, say, Kahului from Wailuku. And there's a cop in front of me. We're at a light. We're at the light that's after the police station. So we're at the light. He's in front of me. All of a sudden, he turns on his lights and he flips a bitch at that light, just turns around, goes in the opposite direction. Immediately after that, I'm on the phone with my other half. Immediately after that, two cops come flying up, following. So I'm watching him where he's going in the mirror, and he turns over to the police station. Which was a whole light up. So I was like, oh, okay, weird. I don't know where he's going from. So I see the two cops follow him, and then I see a third cop going up towards Wailuku. So I'm on the phone with my other half, and I say, oh, something must be happening. I don't know. That was about 7:30. I got home at about 8 p.m. No, I got home shortly thereafter. Shortly before 8 p.m., I was sent a video from an eyewitness who was in the area. And we now know the cops are all going to that incident, which is in Maui Lani. If you're here on Maui, there's Ace Hardware, right? Ace Hardware, there's a field, and then here is Hele gas station. Okay. And then like here is Maui Lani Parkway. And then back here, there's a road. So there's a road, and then business offices here, and then the field, Hele gas station, Ace Hardware, and then Maui Parkway. So a little before 8 p.m., someone sends me, an anonymous person sends me 3 videos. And it's videos as they're driving by right after the shooting happened. Okay. So I'm gonna help you guys. I'm gonna walk you guys through the unfolding of everything with this case. Okay, so let me show you guys the video that I was sent. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Okay, this is the video I was sent. Let me turn the volume up. Okay, I'm gonna pause it. I wonder if I can go. Oh, I can go long ways. Awesome. Okay. All right. Pay attention to that blue Tundra truck. Okay. I'll replay that after. So, you saw that blue Tundra truck, right? Okay. So I get sent this video. Mind you, I'm at home. I don't really know what's going on. Over the next few days, we're piecing everything together. The story that kind of comes out that somebody writes me is like, oh, the guy that was in that blue Tundra truck jumped out and started shooting. So I was like, okay. A little after 8 p.m., I receive photographs of a bullet hole through a window at Hale Makana, which is an apartment complex that's, God damn it, it's got to be about a mile away from the crime scene, from where those officers are standing. Which, by the way, I'm going to rewind this back and kind of show you guys really fast. It's a little bit hard to tell, and I'm sorry with the reflection, but I'm going to show you Chris. He's on the ground, and you can see him. Okay. He is. He's right here. Right there. That's him. He's already laying on the ground. I'm going to push play one more time so you guys can see the camera. You see him? He's on the ground. That's his girlfriend in the black outfit looking at him. That's his girlfriend. And she's like this. Guess what? His girlfriend's an oral surgeon. She is a doctor, not just a doctor, she is a surgeon. We find that out later. Okay. So let's go back. I receive a call or photographs a little after 8:15ish. The bullet hole went through an uncle's window, lodged into a door frame, and nearly missed him. He had just sat down in his chair, and so the bullet hole missed him, or the bullet, missed him. And then I have photographs of cops over there at the scene at Hale Makana, which is about a whole mile away from the crime scene. So instantly I'm like, whose bullet is that that's in the door jam, right? So I'm posting every footage I'm getting, I'm immediately putting it up on my page. We're letting everybody know. Nobody really knows what went on. Now a little before 10 p.m., Maui Police Department finally releases a press release. And I'm going to read to you what it says. I can now definitively tell you it is absolutely a lie. This whole press release is a lie. Came out shortly before 10 p.m. on Thursday, January 8th. And this is what it says. It says, on Thursday, January 8th, at approximately 7:27, dispatch received a terroristic threatening type call regarding a male reportedly armed with a firearm in an open field off Kuikahi Drive. Patrol officers responded to the area at approximately 7:30 p.m. Upon making contact, officers encountered the male who refused to comply with the officer's commands. During the encounter, the male opened fire, at which time officers returned fire, striking the male. No other injuries were reported. The officers involved in the shooting have been placed on administrative leave as standard procedure. So I remember reading that shortly before 10 p.m. and thinking, oh, okay, everything's fine, right? Doesn't that sound like everything's fine? Everything's fine. Nothing happened. The guy didn't listen. He shot his gun. That's why the cop shot at him. I did think it was weird that they were put on administrative leave. I was like, well, that's kind of quick and preemptive to just put it on leave when it sounds like all they did is the male opened fire, at which time officers returned fire, striking the male. No other injuries were reported. So it doesn't seem like anything big really happened. You know what I'm saying? So go to bed. Everything seems to be fine. The next day, at about 1:15, the individual who sent me those videos asks me, have you heard anything about that man and if he died? And I responded back to him, to this individual, no, no. I mean, I haven't read any reports about anything. And this person then says, I'm pretty sure he died. And I was like, what? Like, that changes everything. Because according to this press statement, it seems like he's just been shot, right? So I'm like, what do you mean? So I start going back and I start rewatching the videos, and I'm just like, wait, did he die? So I start reaching out to my MPD informants. I'm like, hey, did you guys hear anything? Now remember, this was at 1:15. I get that message. So now I'm kind of scrambling around trying to figure out, wait, what happened? Now, as far as we know, right, what we're thinking, the man was in the Blue Tundra truck. Blue Tundra truck guy got crazy, started wielding a gun, and then that's who that guy is, right? That's what we're thinking. At 1:42, one of my MPD informants sends me their updated press release, which reads, so it was the original stuff, but now the updated part says, the male involved in the officer involved shooting succumbed to his injuries at the scene. The individual is a 40-year-old male from Paia, whose identity is being withheld pending notification of his next of kin. So we hear that at 1:42 p.m. I instantly screenshot it. I posted on my page. I'm like, he died. But now I'm like, wait a minute. If he succumbed to his injuries at the scene, that means he died there. That means he died before they even put out the press release the night before. So why are they sounding so sketchy? Like, it doesn't make sense. Why did you guys release a press release that made it sound like some crazy guy was just in a field wielding a gun, and then he just didn't listen to commands and he was shot? But then come to find out the next day that he had actually died on the scene. So then my question was like, well, when did he die? Did he die immediately after? Did he die like 30 minutes after trying to save him? Like, when did he die? It makes a difference. You might not think it makes a difference, but it does make a difference. If he died instantly, then you guys are really trying to hide something by not saying that he died, because then you knew he was already dead when you released your press statement. But if it took him 30 minutes and they were trying to resuscitate him, now that's a little bit different, right? If he bled out, then that's different. Then it's like, okay, well, how come he bled out? Did you not get paramedics there soon enough? Like, there's just all kinds of questions, right, that come to mind. So I start watching that video a lot, and I start going back and forth and back and forth at that scene where it pans over him and he's not moving. So then I go back to this other video that was sent to me by that individual. Let me show you. It's him driving the opposite direction now. Hold on. Let me turn it around so I can show you. Now, this is what's really interesting. Watching all the cops that are running down. So I'm watching and I'm rewatching that because I'm trying to see if they're administering aid, if they're rendering aid to the guy. I'm trying to see if the guy's getting up. I'm trying to see if I can see any type of movement. And all I can see are the officers standing above him. And there's got to be, I don't know if you guys could tell, there's got to be about 20 officers running down. So I study that and I study that. But I still don't know anything. It's all still very, very foggy, right? So the next day, when was that? Shooting happened Thursday night. Oh, I asked the eyewitness. I said, "Can you give me a timestamp on that video?" And the eyewitness tells me it was at 7:34 p.m. So I'm like, okay. If the dispatch call came in at 7:27, and if your timestamp says 7:34, and it appears he's already been shot, potentially his time of death is 7:32, 7:33. That's a 6-minute time window from when dispatch was called all the way until now we know for a fact he did die right then. He was shot and killed instantly. Okay. We know that now. But I wanted a window. So I'm like, okay, that's really fast. You're telling me within 6 minutes of getting a call and he's dead? Like, what's the situation? What's the scenario? So we're not really getting any answers on that. MPD was tight lipped. They didn't say shit, do shit. That was Thursday night. Friday, I start receiving messages and pictures. I get sent a photograph from the doctor's office. There's a bunch of offices that's on the other side of where he got shot. And someone sends me a picture from inside a doctor's office, and their parking lot is filled with law enforcement. Let me go pull it up for you guys. Hold on. I'll find it. And in right here, boom. Sorry, guys. Okay. This was taken from inside a doctor's office. Shit. Let me show you the second picture. I get sent that photograph, which is an evidence tag. So they found bullets. I get confirmation that 2 bullets were found. Okay. So now I'm trying to keep track. So if you're on Maui, here is Hele, here is the field, here is Ace, here is Maui Lani Parkway, here's the other road, and then there's a row of businesses. There's Menehune Water, there's an open gravel plot, and then there's a row of doctors' offices, businesses, lawyers, that's all over there. So I get confirmation that there was 2 bullets found over there. In the meantime, I have people contacting me from Halemakana saying that they found 3 bullets over there. Now that's just who contacted me. I know for a fact there's more, but I can only confirm the 3. Okay. Now Chelsea Davis goes over there and interviews the uncle and then pulls out this bullshit news story stating an interview with an uncle where he's like, "Oh yeah, MPD came over here. They was checking on us, like trying to peddle this narrative that MPD's at their apartment complex to make sure they're okay." But the reality is, as I get all these other messages from younger people who live there, they're like, "Auntie, no, the cops is like looking for bullets, any type of indication." I got confirmed that 3 was found by people who are there. I can guarantee there is more. So now you have to ask yourself, damn, 3 bullets went that way? 2 bullets went that way? How many fucking bullets did you guys shoot? That was what I was thinking. I was like, how many shots did you guys fire? Because that's excessive. And the fact that there's a bullet going all the way across to Halemakana, which is about a mile away, that's really far. So the question became, whose bullet is it? So then I went back through the video and I rewind and I rewind. And guess who's facing that direction? MPD. MPD is standing in front of the gas station facing up towards Ace, facing, and there's one officer that's slightly pivoted, tilted, that faces right to Halemakana. I watched that thing over. I said, "Oh, you the one." Let me pull that video back up. I'll show you guys. You guys can be the judge. I was like, "Oh, you are the one." I could pinpoint exactly which one it was. Here we go. Okay. Let me try. Actually, let me just move forward. Okay. These 3 officers right here, they're facing Ace. This officer here is kitty corner facing Halemakana. Okay. So those, I tell you what, those videos have been so valuable to me. It's unbelievable. Sorry. My nose is itchy. I get bad allergies, which is weird. But my allergies always get really bad when it rains. Dropping the pollen down or something. Anyway. So I'm like, that's gotta be MPD's bullets. If that's the case, are you using excessive force? Are you endangering people's lives? Because right there runs the Maui Lani Parkway. Double 2 going up, 2 going down. Okay. So now it's like, oh, you mean you could have hit? Thank God you didn't hit a car driving up. You almost went Miss Uncle over there. How many shots did you guys fire? So on Saturday, the day after that, I went and I walked the trajectory. I'm like, okay, the crime scene is so far away from Halemakana. So let me go walk over there. So I walked the trajectory because I was like, when I was standing in the field closer to Halemakana, looking directly at where the crime scene was, I was like, that's really far. How the hell did it make it through? So I don't know if you guys have watched my video. I'll play it for you. Why don't I go play it for you? But I found the trajectory. And that bullet literally had to go through a tree, through a gate. It clipped the top. There's rows, right? There's rows of apartments. It clipped the corner of one apartment and then it went to the apartment building behind that. Like that path, the trajectory path it took, because I drove to the apartments, I walked from, and then I went back out. I walked from the trajectory all the way down back to the apartments in the field. And I was like, here it is. I'm going to show you guys this video. I have it on my page if you guys want to watch it, by the way. It's a short. Let me show it to you. I'll show you guys.
There's Ace. Okay, here's the trajectory.
I'll show you guys.
Okay, so I walked further down now. I'm going to show you guys where we're at. We're looking for trajectory. There's Ace. Okay. The gas station still over there. The guy got shot right where the trucks are driving by right now. Okay, right in that middle area. Okay, that's where he got shot, right there. Now I will walk down. Now the house that got shot is behind that house over there. Okay. So right
Okay.
now,
So I was trying to figure out how. I found the path though. Here, I'll show it to you.
Okay, so okay, here is the trajectory though, right? There's Ace right there, okay? Which means the area he got shot was right there. So the trajectory has to come straight through here, okay? Line of sight. I went back up, came through this tree, okay? I'm gonna go through this tree and I'm gonna show you like where it hit, if we can even see it. Okay. The house that went hit, can't even see him through the trees, is the second story. It's right here. The window's right up the top there. So we go. I cannot see it from this angle, but that just kind of shows you how far the bullet went travel. Now, what's gonna really make a difference is whose gun that was, is whose bullet that was. This is the path. Now, the reason why it's important to know whose bullet it was is because the Kupunas can sue Maui Police Department and Maui County for the bullet that nearly killed him.
Okay, so that's one of my videos. I have it up on my page. You guys can watch the rest of it. So we found the path. We found the trajectory of the bullet going through the tree, through the fence, past. There's this apartment building, and then this apartment. It hit this one back here in the corner. So that bullet really wouldn't travel pretty far. Because at that point, I was just like, MPD is not saying anything. This is really weird. Like they're not giving us any news outside of the press release, which was a vague, really nothing at all. There was nothing. They didn't do a press conference. They didn't do anything. So I was like, what's going on? So that was Saturday. I found the trajectory. Because then I focused on, okay, well, no wonder they don't want the uncle to sue. And any of the families that were in there that potentially could have been shot, that bullets were found near, they all can sue Maui County, Maui Police Department for endangering them when they weren't even anywhere near the crime scene. Okay. Now we progress. Now I'm just like, okay, days go by. I'm like researching this, and I'm just like, okay, none of this like makes sense. Who called dispatch? Because now I kind of get obsessed with the girlfriend, right? I don't know if she's the girlfriend yet, but I'm watching back and forth this video and slow moing it. And if you notice her outfit, it's kind of weird. She's wearing these oversized like black outfit with this weird white cap. And I just thought that is so weird. And I'm like, who is she? So I asked the eyewitness. I said, do you know who that woman is? And they respond with, that's the girlfriend. And I think to myself, you were just driving by. You don't really know if that was the girlfriend or not. I cannot really trust that. But I can say that she was somebody that was with him. So I start speaking about her. I start saying, who is she? Because I would like to speak to her and know what she knows, because you can literally hear her cry, like scream, ah! And she's like this in the video. And so I'm like, what does she know? I want to talk to her. Right. So, and then I'm also trying to figure out, is she the one who called dispatch? I'm like, who called dispatch? So one morning, I'm getting ready for work. I want to say it's like oh, by the way, one of my MPD sources tells me, oh, they're going to do a press conference on Monday. Because the whole weekend I'm hounding them. Like, why are you guys not telling us anything? Is it because you guys were in the wrong and you guys endangered a lot of other people, a lot of bystanders? You potentially could have killed other people. And how many bullets did you guys shoot? So I'm like hounding MPD for answers. And somebody calls me in the morning one day as I'm getting for work, and they're like, well, we happen to know that dispatch was called on the blue Tundra truck. And I was like, how you know? And they're like, because we went call them. I was like, oh, really? They're like, yeah. And they're like, well, why'd you call him? And they're like, because the Blue Tundra truck was parked at Hele gas station for hours. So then it's like, hours? That's weird. We still don't really know who Chris. First of all, Chris's identity still has not been revealed to anybody. We're now on like fucking almost day 5, because they didn't have a press conference on Monday, like that said. So I'm like, that's really weird. Okay. So I'm like, okay. So the cops actually got called on Blue Tundra truck guy. And apparently the cops was knocking on the window trying to get him to roll on the window and to talk story with them. But he refused. Either he refused or he was sleeping, one of those, but he was like giving them a hard time. He wasn't like cooperating them with them. Okay. And then that's when I hear he was somebody different. I was like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, it's not. So somebody already said before it wasn't the guy in the Tundra truck. But still, we didn't know like the story. So nothing made sense. And MPD wasn't saying shit about anything at all. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. So I stayed rolling with that. Now it comes down. Oh, that was Tuesday morning. I got that call Tuesday morning. I'm gonna take one step forward. I one step backward. I forgot. On Monday in the morning, first thing in the morning, I start getting pictures of all these people sending me MPD's back on the crime scene. MPD's there. I start getting all these pictures sent to me. They're like MPD's back, and I'm thinking, well, that's fucking weird because that crime scene's already been released. What that means is, when they tape off a crime scene and nobody can enter, that they have it taped off. Once they take all the tape down, now the crime scene is open. Everybody can go back to normal. That's called releasing a crime scene. So Saturday was released. They did their investigation all day Friday. There was heavy presence all in that area all Friday. But by Friday night, by Saturday morning, the crime scene was released. It was open, which is why I was able to go walk the whole damn thing. Oh, I forgot even one big important part to that whole story. But going back, so Saturday, Sunday, apparently detectives take off work and they don't continue solving crimes. But Monday morning, they was back on the scene. So I'm thinking, well, that's fucking stupid because everything is compromised at this point. Not a scene's been open. It doesn't fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? Anything they find has been contaminated. They can't even prove that it came from the incident. So why are you bothering going back on Monday? Because you did a poor job investigating? So I start getting all these reports and pictures that they brought a canine dog to Hele gas station. Now, by this point, I already know Chris was facing Hele gas station. MPD officers were facing Ace, all the doctor's offices, and Hale Makana, the apartment complex. So I'm like, are you guys looking for bullets? Is what my brain thinks. So instantly, I contact my MPD sources and I ask them, what kind of canine dogs do you guys have? And they tell me they have drugs and people sniffing dogs. I said, that's it? That's all they search for? They're like, yeah. So I'm like, why would they be over there searching for drugs? Unless they had a dog flown in that can send bullets, casings, shells, something along those lines. And then one of my MPD foreman said, dogs can't sense that. There's no canine dog that can do that. Meanwhile, I have a follower who literally is the kahu for the canine dog, and they just sent sense electronics, only electronics. So I'm just kind of like, you can't really tell me there's no dog that can sense or smell bullets, because also what else, why are they walking on the side of Hele gas station, the same direction that Chris Austin should be facing, and why do you guys have metal detectors? This is why I love the Lahui. The Lahui was sending me pictures. The Lahui was sending me videos. They're the ones who was telling me from 8 o'clock in the morning, police presence is back, sending me pictures of everything. So my mind's like, why do you have a dog sniffing the side of Hele, and why do you have metal detectors on the side of Hele? If you're not trying to look for proof that Chris Austin actually shot a bullet at you? And is it because you guys can't and don't have any proof at all that he actually shot at the officers? Because that's what the fuck it's looking like. Okay? So that's all Monday. So then I'm like going off online. I'm like, where's your press conference? Oh, why you guys too busy still trying to figure out what the fuck you doing? Because you guys are back at the contaminated crime scene on Monday after the fact. Because you guys stupid, or is it because I said you guys was going to have a press conference on Monday and now you guys not going to have one? Who knows? I think they're just still investigating, to be quite honest. And the story they told is they were waiting for the autopsy report. You guys never fucking did that before. I don't know. They're all excuses. John Pelletier lies and all excuses. So anyway, now we can come back. Tuesday morning, I received the call saying they called dispatch about the guy in the blue Tundra truck. Then that afternoon, they do a fucking bitch move and they have a secretive fucking press conference. And of course, your girl Chelsea Davis is the one to break that shit. Nobody knows, literally, like, nobody knows that they're going to have this fucking press conference. And it's complete bullshit. The press conference is like 9 minutes long. They give like a 5-minute glossy glance over what happened, which is basically regurgitating the same thing they say in their press release. And then they show us the body cam footage, to which they say, oh, we had to silence the body cam footage because the officers were reporting to another incident. We now know the other incident, right, was the Blue Tundra truck guy. And that the cops were out there trying to talk to him, but he refused to roll down the window. So they were frustrated from trying to talk to this guy. When all of a sudden, Chris is in the field doing what? What illegal thing is he doing in the field that causes you to go over there? So they show us the fucking body cam footage. It's muted. You can't hear shit. They're like, oh, we have to silence it because they're on another call. That's what a body cam footage is for. Transparency. And it's a protection. It's a protection for the cops and it's a protection for the civilian. But when you can go off and on and off and on and off and on, well, now that's very questionable. It's highly questionable. So they show us this. Have you guys seen it? Let me pull it up. This bullshit. They show us nothing at all. They show us nothing at all. Chelsea Davis's news station is so fucking bullshit. The camera's so far away from the TV that it's not even clear. You can't see shit. You can't hear shit. And then you have to ask yourself, why is it muted? You cannot tell me it's because they're at another incident. That's what transparency is. That's why you wear body cams. You wear body cams so as a protective measure for everybody involved. But now there's a rule that says, oh, but we got to turn it off because of another incident. You mean the other incident of the guy who wasn't coming out of his truck? Oh, is it because it ties into each other? Because does it show the frustration of the cops talking to the guy in the Tundra truck and then they just end up turning and taking their frustration out on Chris Austin walking in the field? Is that why you muted your body cam footage? Let me pull up this whack ass, dumb as fuck press conference. Here it is. Let me show you how stupid this freaking body cam footage is and this whole fucking meeting. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh, shit. Here. No sound, you guys. No sound. Why do we have no sound? Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna put it down because I'm just getting annoyed watching it. So first of all, you can't see shit. In case you guys can't tell, it's so fucking far away. They cut it off before anything happens. They muted the sound so we can't even fucking hear what's being said. Why? Why does the video? Why did you mute the video? Don't give me that bullshit fucking answer. Give me a real answer. Why is that video muted? Why aren't you letting us see the whole fucking picture? Is it because he wasn't even talking to the police? Is it because he was just a man talking to himself in a field? Nelson Hamilton says he had a bottle in his left hand and then he went to drop it and he went with his right hand. And then that's it. It doesn't make sense, you guys. None of it makes sense. And then you want to show us this bullshit body cam footage of nothing. Literally, all you see is them going through the field, the bushes, and then coming up to him. Did you guys notice though? Can you guys tell that they're advancing on him and he's moving away from them? Do you guys notice that? In all 4 body cam footages, they are advancing him. God, my one lash. I got him. Kept fucking falling down. Hi. Okay. I work with color, by the way. That's why my hands are all bust. Anyways, they're advancing him in all of the body cam footage. They are advancing him and he is moving back. Does that make sense to you? If the cops are so afraid, why are they advancing him and why is he backing up? And why can't we hear what's said? Is it because he is telling them, first of all, is it because he's not even talking to them? Is it because maybe he's just in his own world talking to himself, which is not illegal to do? Is it because he's yelling at them like, I know my rights. I haven't done nothing wrong. I don't got anything. We will never fucking know unless we get the actual body cam footage that has not been altered or edited by the Maui Police Department at all. That's the only way we're going to find out. So, we have a lot of unanswered questions here. To me personally, I wanted to know who the girlfriend was. So, lo and behold, I get a phone call on Tuesday, the night that they released the press conference. And somebody calls and tells me who the girlfriend is. They say, I want to be anonymous, but I know who the girlfriend is. And they send me a photograph. And lo and behold, his girlfriend is an oral surgeon who owns a dental office, a doctor's office, directly across the field. So now it all starts fucking making sense to me why MPD has been so quiet about this. They haven't said shit since their first bullshit press release. And then they come out on Tuesday and give the most bullshit press conference. 9 minutes. The first five is of Nelson Hamilton talking about what happened, which was also bullshit. Shows the bullshit body cam footage. And then it goes directly to John Pelletier, where John Pelletier then plays on the public's emotions and says, Officer O's shooting just happened 5 months ago. Okay, buddy, we're very sorry for that thing with Officer O. But you don't bring a completely separate topic into this one that does not even apply to this. All you're supposed to do is tell us the fucking truth about this particular incident. Period. He goes on this whole tirade. Officer safety is first, number one command. You start paying attention to him. He never says public safety is first. It's always officer safety, which, yes, officer safety is highly important. But what you're doing, John Pelletier, is you're creating a us versus them narrative. Us law enforcement officers versus the public versus criminals versus blah, blah, blah. And so his whole speech was, it was so funny actually, because his whole speech is addressing me. In case you guys don't know, I am a hemorrhoid on John Pelletier's asshole, and he absolutely hates me because all I'm doing is demanding that he be fucking transparent to the community of Maui, which he hasn't been at all. So he cannot stand me. He actually, my MPD sources let me know, he assigns people to monitor my page, to know what I am talking about him, to help control the narrative. Okay? So he gives this most bullshit press conference. He's answering all the questions I've been asking him. He says, "Oh, well, I haven't, we haven't done a press conference because I just got the autopsy report today." And then that's all he says, right? So I'm thinking to myself, well, if there's anything damning in that autopsy report, I'm sure you'd probably tell us. Why didn't you tell us how he died if you have the autopsy report? Oh, is it because you guys shot him to death and you don't want to tell us that? Is that why? So he gives this bullshit speech. Cry, 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 Officer O, which has nothing to do with this particular incident. Well, after Officer O, he's essentially saying we're trigger happy, we're concerned, and so now we're just going to assume every single individual is out to kill us. That's what he's saying in his press conferences. That's what he's saying without saying it. Okay. So directly after that 4-minute bullshit speech, Alana Picota Babuz, who is the information education specialist, when she ain't ever educating nobody on no motherfucking information, comes up and says, press conference is over. We're not going to accept any questions at this time. And then they all speedily walk out. That was the most bullshit press conference I have ever heard in my life. So there was that. That night, I get a phone call. Come to find out that girlfriend is a doctor, not just a doctor, but a surgeon. And through more digging, I find out that she was in the military for over 15 years, for 15 years, and that she was a major. Something far greater than John Pelletier could ever become. She became that. And that's when it all made perfect sense. You're not talking about this because you assumed that that was going to be some tweaker, crazy homeless person in a field who didn't know shit. And you thought you could do like you've done before and just brush everything under the rug. You didn't count on the fact that his girlfriend was going to be a doctor that owned the doctor's office directly across from where her boyfriend was just killed. That, she probably has the money and funds to come after you. I'm sure you realize that as soon as you guys realized who she was. And that played a huge role in why they have been completely silent. Oh, besides the other fact that they shot Way too many fucking bullets. So when I walked that crime scene, that field, green spray paint all over the field. So I reached out to my MPD informants. I said, hey, what's the green spray paint? And they said it's more than likely the path that a bullet took or where the bullet landed. You know, I had a hard time counting how many green spray paint there was on the ground. There was probably at least my MPD informant, I took the video and I sent it. My MPD informant, one of them counted, swears it's more than 40. 40 of these green lines, all at the scene of the crime. I don't know if I told you this yet. So, anyways, I find out that the doctor is his girlfriend. I'm like, no wonder they've been mum, because they know they fucked up. And if they're using excessive force by shooting 40 too many fucking bullets, and what type of crisis tactics are you guys employing to talk someone down who is having their own whatever conversation they're having on their own in a field? Did you guys try to talk him down? Because it's apparent you didn't, because your body cam footage shows you from the moment you left the truck until you got and shot him is, it looks to me, less than a minute. Less than a minute. That means you guys did absolutely use no tactics to try to diffuse and de-escalate the situation. They used none tactics. That's not what they're supposed to do, especially not as public servants. That's not what they're supposed to do. So I went back to the crime scene because I thought, oh shit, I didn't look on the ACE wall. And I walked that path and I took a video of it. And guess how many bullet holes I found on the back of Ace Hardware's wall? I counted 19 bullet holes. 19 bullet holes in a building. That's a bit excessive. That does not take into account all the green lines you see all over that damn crime scene. That does not account for the 3 bullets I got confirmed from people who lives in Halemakana. That doesn't account for the 2 that was confirmed from the doctor's office across the street. Now that's just who confirmed me. I know for a fact there's more. That's just who I can say I have that number confirmed. I'll give you this, MPD. Possibly 2 of those 19 bullets weren't bullet holes. Possibly. But even so, 17 bullets is way too much. And if you guys are sending a canine dog, and metal detectors to go on Monday, days after you close the scene of the crime, does that mean you guys have no proof that he even shot a bullet? And then, which brought me to the next point. Did they bag anyone's hands? So this is something one of my MPD informants taught me with the Officer O case, all right? My informant told me nobody's hands got bagged at Officer O's shooting. They said protocol is everyone's hands get bagged. Whoever was there, including Officer O's, hands all get bagged. So I believe there's 5 officers that was walking that dark field, and Officer O and Clembert Kaneholani. All of them should have had their hands bagged. Hands bagged means they cover them, they preserve the hands so that they can test it for gunpowder residue to see who actually fired a gun or who shot a gun. That's what bagging your hands are. I've gotten confirmation reports from nurses who say, we bag the hands. Even if somebody gets shot and killed, we'll make sure to bag their hands so that they can come and test for their gun residue if they fired a gun. I know for a fact Nobody bagged anybody's hands at Officer O's. So then I began to wonder, did anybody's hands get bagged at the killing of not officer, at the killing of Kristopher Austin? I would bet everything I have that nobody's hands got bagged. So the incompetence of this police department, which is John Pelletier, all the weight and responsibility goes on John Pelletier because he is the leadership. He is the highest, the man at the top. So you get to carry and bear the weight of responsibility. You're also the reason why MPD is becoming what it's becoming. Now we gotta worry. We'll get shot for no fucking reason. Kristopher Austin wasn't committing a crime. We can't even establish if he had a gun with your bullshit body cam footage. I watched one other here, I'll show you. I watched one other body cam footage which showed that he dropped a bottle and he did go for something, but then they just murdered him. And it's, you guys didn't try to disarm him. You guys used excessive force. That's different. That's completely different. 1 to 3 bullets, I can see. More than 40, I can confirm 24. 24. I can confirm 24 bullets. That's 20 too many fucking bullets. Everything about this case is very, very sketchy. And I'm going to keep you guys totally up to date on all of it. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up the one body cam footage that Mahalo to the Lahui, they sent it to me. It was because of course it wasn't Chelsea Davis's news station. That's why it was just so much better. Okay, here. This, what's annoying about this one though is the newscaster is talking. So I would have preferred it was just silent, but whatever, it is what it is. See how he's backing up? He's not even advancing on them. He's backing up. He's backing away from them. Finally, I found one video that's finally kind of clear, that finally can kind of show what happened. It's still questionable. My concern is, was he even committing a crime at this time? And two, it appears to me they use zero tactics to de-escalate the situation. And if they were advancing on him, why didn't they stop? Why? It's like Michaela DuPont, the girl that died almost a year ago, where the cops came into her house, this 90-pound girl, and just shot and killed her because she had the knife and she was coming. Why didn't you tase her? Why didn't you guys just stay outside the house? Nobody was even in the house with her. This is the problem, is that John Pelletier being the leadership is because he's so corrupt. He's short in training for MPD. So officers aren't getting enough training, knowledge, experience to feel confident when they're out on patrol. So what's happening now is we have a whole breed of new patrol officers, young patrol officers, newbies, who haven't been trained properly. So they're all trigger happy because they're not confident enough and because they're scared. I'm not making this shit up. This is what my MPD sources tell me. The ones on patrol now are scared, which is why they pull their gun. And they just draw their gun so fast. They're not using any type of de-escalation techniques. If they could have just, first of all, they had no reason to even go up to him. He was in a field by himself. They was over there talking to the kind. And as you can see, he wasn't just out there wielding a gun going crazy. He was a man talking to himself in a field. Were you just, your egos were just pissed off because the guy in the blue Tundra truck wouldn't roll his window down? And then you hear someone man who's like yelling at himself because he's got his own shit he's going through, and you just, your ego takes a hit, so you just turn and you advance on him? What the fuck kind of law enforcement is that? So now do we as a Lahui need to be afraid of the law enforcement? Let's go back to November. November, cop pulls over the truck, didn't even pull it over. Two teen boys was sitting in the truck. The teen boys' truck was stolen 24 days prior. They called it in that it was recovered. He's sitting at the beach watching waves. Him and his friend, the other boy is 14, obviously a child. Cop rolls up on them, pointing, drawing his guns on them. The boy whose truck it is comes out. He's like, what did I do? Luckily, his auntie and uncle is sitting in the truck behind and recorded all of it. He got blasted for that. Okay. Then the 14-year-old comes out from the passenger side, walks around, obviously scared. He's like this, scared. He's obviously scared. And the cop just pulls a fucking gun at him. And you can hear in the background, it comes out first that dispatch says that the truck was stolen. And that's when he pulls his gun. But then I don't know how much time, if it was just seconds or minutes, you can hear dispatch in there. She says, vehicle recovered on the date, which was, I think, November 7th or something like that. So it's like, draw guns first because you're so fucking scared, and then just explain about it later. No worry about the community you're supposed to be protecting and serving. So then the family of both boys reached out to me and I blasted them. I blasted that officer. The poor 14-year-old boy, he was so fucking traumatized. Days later, when he was with his parents driving by a police officer, he like jumped and he got scared. He's a 14-year-old child. So you're gonna traumatize these children because you're fucking scared? This is the problem with John Pelletier in shortening all the training. And this is what's happening. The patrol guys you see out on the field now, a lot of them are newbies who don't have proper training. So the first thing they do is they reach for the gun. Period. Veteran officers are not going to do that. This is from my MPD sources. This is what they tell me. Okay? That they're not just jumping their gun, pulling their gun out. The newbies are, because they're scared, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's a problem. Because now, is it the community versus law enforcement? Now we got to watch out. Be careful. My niece just called me last week. She told me, so her Forerunner was stolen. About a month later, she was driving late at night. Cop pulls her over. Guns drawn on her. She's like, Auntie, I got out with my hands up and like, whoa, what is going on? They're like, oh, it was reported stolen. She's like, I reported it recovered like a month prior. To which then the officer starts berating her, like, well, what are you doing driving out so late? I'm so glad my niece is so akamai. She goes, it is not illegal for me to drive. She goes, I am doing nothing wrong. I am not drinking. I'm not doing drugs. I'm taking a drive. And there is nothing wrong with that. My car is illegal. I'm not doing anything legally wrong. But the guy still wanted to be a fucking dick to her. To what, save face because your ego is all big? Which brings me to the point that John Pelletier is offering $30,000 sign-on bonuses to new officers because they have shitty recruitment and retention. So he's offering $30,000. What kind of officers do you get when they're joining just for a $30,000 financial benefit? Well, you're getting officers who aren't really focused on serving the community. They're in it for the financial gain. And so now what's happening is a society is being created where the citizens have to be afraid of the cops. That's not right. That's so not right. So my page is just about highlighting factual events that happen here that MPD does not want us to talk about. They don't want us to know. But luckily, the law hui trusts me And the Lahui reach out to me all the time. As we saw with this Jacob situation, they reach out to me immediately to tell me everything that's going on. And then after everything is said and done, 2 days later, finally John Polatera comes out with a, I'm gonna say John Polatera because he's the boss of MPD, so it's all his fault. Comes out with a statement, oh, if it was a big deal, if there was really anything to worry about, we would have alerted the public. You guys had a helicopter circling Haiku a whole day. You guys had drones. You guys released canine dogs into neighborhoods. You guys had heavy police presence, but you all didn't want to tell nobody what you guys are doing, what you guys are looking for, who you were looking for, what they were doing. You guys didn't want to, oh, we can't compromise the integrity of the investigation, so we have to be, we can't tell you shit. Meanwhile, a ton of people in the La Hui are messaging me, are making posts, are commenting on shit. What's going on? What's going on? It was a holiday. Kids were off school. A lot of kids are home. People are just like, what the fuck is going on? And just no word. So then your girl was the only news source that was fucking giving out all kind of information to let the La Hui know this is what you're looking for, this is what to be mindful of, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. And so many of them thanked me for it. And then the next day they released the most bullshit press release talking to me again, addressing me. Oh, if it was really a big deal, we would have alerted the public. If their safety was in question, we would have alerted you. No, you're basically telling us our safety doesn't matter, and it's secondary. That's what you're really telling us. And then they say, let me read it for you guys. It's the most bullshit. I said, like, once you guys start paying attention and you guys will see it. You guys will see it every fucking time. John Polatera addresses all my questions all the time. He's all but hurt. I am a hemorrhoid on that fucking guy's asshole, like puckered up. Where is it? Here it is. The most bullshit fucking press release. Here. Specific details regarding the search were not released at the time to preserve the integrity of the ongoing investigation and ensure officer safety. In today's environment, where information can be rapidly shared through cell phones, social media, and informal communication networks, officer and community safety remains a top priority. Had there been a known threat to public safety, the community would have been promptly notified. So I didn't realize you bring out a fucking helicopter for nothing at all. I didn't realize you bring out the canine dogs for nothing at all. I didn't realize you bring out drones for absolutely nothing at all. You know what's even more embarrassing? They never even found Jacob that day. Jacob went home. And then the cops were surrounding the house. Fuck John Pelletier. That guy is a cancer to our society, and we need him gone because he just does not care about Maui. It's all just his own personal gain. That's all that it is. That's all it comes down to with him. So, sorry I kind of got far off with that point, but what I'm trying to do is just highlight the ways in which MPD has been failing the La Hui. Michaela DuPont shot and killed her when they could have tased her. All she needed was love. Nobody was even in the house. They should have just stayed outside. Called the crisis help. Oh, right. We don't really have any. And the ones we do are fucking useless. CORE, CORE, within the MPD. It's a part of their department that is supposed to be the crisis prevention. And they go out and they help deal with people who have mental health issues, homelessness, blah, blah, blah. That Michaela DuPont was shot and killed. She was carrying a knife, but she was 90 pounds, and they were entering her house. Like, they entered and put your fucking hands up, put your fucking hands up. Like, you obviously know she's already in a heightened state. Why would you fucking do that? Come in heavy like that. and yelling at somebody like that, pointing guns at her. She was probably afraid of you guys because you guys came into her house with guns pointed at her. And she wasn't in her right mind. So we have the problem that we're not having the correct responses to situations here in Maui. And the community is suffering from it. So now we got to be afraid. We got to worry about when our kids go out somewhere that some cop's not going to get fucking trigger happy. What? Alrighty, Lahui. I guess I'll end it right here. Thank you so much for listening. This is pretty much the way I'm going to be rolling out all my stories because I dig in. I get eyewitness accounts. I get photographs, footage, um, inside sources, MPD inside sources who come and share with me the information. I just disperse it. Right now, John Pelletier is gatekeeping information, which is unheard of. How are you going to be a public servant paid for by the tax dollars of the public, but you're not really protecting and serving the public? So we're just here to hold up a mirror to MPD and the Maui Police Commission because John Pelletier's got to go. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you soon. Aloha.